was grooving out to that one a little bit. Right there. And I was like, oh, okay. I clicked outro first because I'm the worst.
You're not the worst. All right. Hi guys, it is Monday. Back with Thom and Ebony to watch Grogu.
Baby, it's the baby.
It's the baby. One of my favorite babies.
Mandalorian Monday. Totally didn't do that on purpose.
So here's the thing. Until you said that, I hadn't thought of that.
Me either until just now.
That's where we are.
Genius.
All right. So tonight, guys, we are having one of my favorite content creators, Seth from WoTSpoilers.
Hi, Ebony. I'm honored to be called one of your favorite content creators. You are
the best Gleeman out there, number one.
Yeah, I love that costume. I gotta say, my first spoiler con. Oh, no, Jesus, my first Jordan con. I was so nervous, and you helped me so much. You were like, absolutely, like, settle down. It's okay. I'll take care of you. Don't worry. And I was like,
that is my calling.
Yeah, no, it was amazing.
I'm good at.
You saved me. You saved me.
Totally unplanned, by the way. Speaking of your first Jordan con.
Look yeah, look at that. He had the long beard and
juggling with your patch cloak.
That was about 2 seconds before I dropped one of the balls in front of everybody. So, the cloak surprisingly interferes with your arms when you're juggling, and I had not practiced enough with the cloak on before I got up in front of everybody. So
that's all right.
Yeah, lesson learned.
Juggled, like we were all impressed. Like he can juggle more than two.
A youth poorly spent. Instead of dating, I learned to juggle. So
I mean,
hey, listen, there could be worse things.
And reading Wheel of Time, of course.
Yeah. Well, that's what you've got a girlfriend now, so
I do. Off. She's wonderful and sexy, and I love her. Hey, Leaf.
And
Nomen Garden.
I know Garden.
And then this random woman that's always following us around.
I mean, I really think you're following her, but
yeah, man, you two just have the same last name. What a coincidence!
I know. It's weird.
Wow.
Who could that possibly be?
Hidden knives. Well,
it's all the hidden bottles of alcohol is really.
One of the things I hadn't done at that con that I've done later is I added a lot of pockets to the inside. And so there's a lot of things in those pockets now that do weigh it down quite a bit. It's very annoying, actually.
I was thinking of making a patchwork cloak out of badge ribbons.
That would be awesome.
That would be so.
That would be amazing. You'd have to separate them all, though, because aren't they all, like, glued together?
Yeah, that's just that, like, shitty, like, pre-stuck on, like...
Yeah.
Glue that barely works anyway. So
I mean, I would. Yeah, it wouldn't be hard to do. I don't think.
I don't know if I have enough. I mean, I guess I have like.
So they can't all be. But they can't all be dragon mount. Like, don't take just all the dragon mount.
I have enough of them. I think I could probably make a good portion. Yeah.
Right. Well, and you could certainly, pull your resources from other people who've been to the cons, and it doesn't.
I don't know that anybody's going to give up their ribbons.
That's true, man. People get
real weird about it.
Yeah, mine are hanging right over there. I can see them from here.
Too many. Oh shit! Yeah, Dan, I'll take it.
All
nice.
Right.
Make a little Dan section on the cloak. All right, this is going to happen now.
All right, I'm excited because Jordan Con's in just 4 weeks and nobody's prepared.
Oh
no, well,
I'm prepared because I'm gonna do nothing.
But still, I mean, are you really prepared? Are you cosplaying? Do you know which panels you're going to? Because you actually don't get to go to panels this year.
I am on a couple of panels this year. Actually, I have that. I have my schedule.
All right. Are you prepped? Like, are you ready?
I mean, it's Wheel of Time panels, and like,
okay, that's fair.
I forgot. There's, and then one of them is like what real life jobs would fantasy characters have or something like that looked like fun that Fantasy Track is doing. Actually, Seth, new track director, his name is also Seth.
Yes.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I have nothing to do with this, so you scared me there for a second. I was like, what have I forgotten to do? Oh shit.
I'm saying, man, I don't. I gotta procrastinate to the last minute.
I do Nomen Garden because I have anxiety, and also people ask me questions because I look like I know stuff. So,
Rosa,
and plus, I like to know. So when newbies are like, what should I go to? I can at least have like one or two. You should absolutely go to this.
So, for people that don't know who Seth is, we forgot to like introduce him real quick.
Right in the
Seth, I came prepared a little bit. I have a little banner with your information on it.
Nice.
I have some links for people in the chats, but why don't you give us a little lowdown, a little bio on who are you?
Well, 5 years ago, I started talking about a full spoiler Wheel of Time breakdown because I had a buddy that I wanted to talk to the podcast. We always talked about the books, and everyone around us said, just make it a podcast and stop talking our ears off. And so we did, and it's been going now with a couple of different hosts. It's currently with me and Aradia, and she's brilliant and has taken it to the next level. I'm just now sort of here for the ride along, and I get to talk about Wheel of Time, which is my favorite book series, every week. And you know, I met you guys at Wheel of the various cons that we've all been to, and Dragon Mount with Jason Denzel was one of our first shout outs. He saw one of my early posts after I put up episode 1 and got it out there as a retweet and got us 100 listeners on day 1, and you know, we just been growing ever since. So you know, huge shout out to huge shout out to Dragon Mount and everything you guys have done for the community. So I love you guys. Yeah. And of course, Ebony and Thom are like some of my 2 favorite people that I met at Jordan Con, and both of seeing you both together just makes me happy.
I had fun with, I think we had spoken prior to the first, like before we met at the first Jordan Con, but like the first interaction I got to have with you was with you, Daniel Green, and the White Tower podcast, I think.
Yeah.
On the panel we all did.
Yeah, that sounds like a party.
Yep.
And I had I made everyone, including you guys and you, mad at me when I said that I thought that they could cut the Ogier from season 1 or the Ogier from the Wheel of Time show completely.
Yeah, no, I mean, I still haven't entirely forgiven you for that one, and I'm glad to see that you were proven wrong, that the Ogier are, in fact, in the show. It doesn't...
I mean, we got one.
Right.
And I think we might have saw one in the trailer. We might have saw one from Sean Chan, I think, maybe briefly in the trailer. It all went so fast.
I didn't notice that. So I like that, Dan. I like that.
It was.
Born on the slopes of Dragon Mount.
Yeah, no, and we were sort of pre-TV show, you know. I mean, we didn't know the TV show was coming out when we started, and that was a different generation of folks. When Daniel Green was still a small unknown YouTube channel that only a few people had ever seen, you know.
Yeah, he was just a baby.
He was so cute at that first Jordan Con too. He was so nervous.
He was so nervous. Yeah, I remember that. And now he's huge and still just as nervous.
Yeah.
It's really adorable that he's managed to be famous on a small level without ever wanting to be famous.
No, not
well, those are the people that deserve it, right?
Exactly.
Not wanting it.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like he goes home every day and is like, what did I do? No.
So I will say, every Monday after this, I go to Brian and go, I don't know why people like watching us watch a show that they can't see. Like
that was the cool thing. That the reason why I wanted to keep doing it is because I had a couple of people reach out to us, and I was telling Seth before this, like, he was like, you know, what the hell are we doing? Like should we, like, how crunchy basically should we get about talking about the Mandalorian? And I was like, honestly, it's loose. I had like when we were finishing doing the Wheel of Time rewatch, I had maybe like 5 or 6 people reach out, like personally, like, you know, people were like, oh, I had so much fun, this was great watching, whatever. But like I had a couple of people reach out, like individually reach out and be like, oh, this was so much fun, I'm sad that you guys aren't doing it anymore, because this was like hanging out on a couch with my friends watching these television shows or watching the Wheel of Time, and I don't have people really to do that with. So like this was great. This was a great thing to do. And then I was like, oh man, that's awesome. That's a great way to think about it. And you know what? Let's keep doing it. We got all this time until season 2, so fucking keep doing it.
I think my thing is, why do y'all want to watch me?
Because you're entertaining. You're the Empress. May you live forever.
Like, why do you... I mean, especially with Rings of Power, because like all I knew was like movie lore. I had never read it. Like that was my husband's thing. So it is the guest.
It's the guest. Let's just be real. It's the guest.
Yes. Yeah. So, but I do love Mando.
I was gonna say not this time.
What are you talking about?
And I converted.
Don't talk about my friend like that.
Yes, Seth, you are wonderful. You can ask Thom last
Thank
week
you.
when he said Seth is going to be here next week. I was like, Seth is going to be here.
That's wonderful. It's wonderful.
I'm so excited. I haven't seen Seth in so long.
I know. I was telling him, I was like, when we were messaging, I was like, I haven't seen your face in like 100 years.
Oh yeah, well about a year ago I got a new job, which has not let me get away as much as I'd want to. So I haven't been able to get to every single get together that I wanted to get to.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. I mean, like especially when you're like it's a good problem to have, but it makes me feel bad, and I'm sure you too, Seth. Mm-hmm. There's so many great content creators and stuff in the Wheel of Time community. It's hard to keep up with everybody, and everyone's so cool. Like honestly,
yes.
I haven't run into any.
There's no jerks so far.
I really haven't run into one yet, honestly. That I've personally met or anything like that. So, and I think that's a testament to the Wheel of Time community for the most part. Like, not to say that there aren't, because there are. I mean, the book clubs
sure,
and
but
stuff like that. But
I think we weed them out. Like I think we're very good at being like, you're not the kind of Wheel of Time
no,
friend I want.
No,
exactly.
And we're not. I'm just gonna block you and keep it moving.
Right.
And I think personal beef doesn't really come into it either, which has been nice. I think people can have disagreements without throwing somebody out of the community. It's just we still love you because you're in the community, even if I don't agree with everything you think.
Like the Ogier,
right. We're
gonna give you a hard time. So.
We haven't gotten in a physical fight yet, mostly because you kicked my ass.
Thom is big.
Thom makes a very convincing Perrin cosplay. Yeah.
He does. He absolutely does. But okay.
I appreciate that.
Enough
now
chatting.
I'm blushing. Oh man, and your hammer? Whew, that thing was a thing of beauty.
It's right there.
Yeah.
I'm probably bringing it this year. My wife and I are probably driving, so I think I'm going to be doing my Perrin cosplay again this year. Well, not the dark Perrin, a normal-ish Perrin.
As normal as Perrin is.
Yeah, well, minus the hair because I don't want to wear a wig.
I mean, they can be comfortable if you get the right kind.
I don't know, man. As soon as my hair gets like a quarter of an inch long, I start sweating. It's terrible.
I mean, they are sweating.
No idea what you're talking about.
I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it then. I appreciate it.
All right.
I'm squishy. All right, yeah. So let's watch this show. So we got
let's do the baby.
Yeah, we got Star Wars. We're watching Mandalorian season 1, episode 7. What is it? The Reckoning.
The Reckoning. Yes.
So I think we get Giancarlo Esposito at the end of this episode.
We do, and he is terrifying.
I love him so much. And we just had oh no, never mind. I was about to give a season 3 spoiler, and we're not doing that.
No. Seth, no season.
No season 3. So everything
I'll try.
in Star Wars up to season 3 of Mandalorian. We could.
I've watched episode 1 and 2 of season 3, but
it's fantastic.
I'll avoid spoilers. I do like it. Yeah.
He really does have an amazing voice.
Yeah, this episode definitely. It feels like the danger before the it's like the dark before the light at the end of the tunnel. Like this is a dark episode.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it.
So, we're gonna be watching it in a watch party, even though Disney Plus's watch party program is absolutely terrible. I feel like every week we have a problem with it, and again, I just want to send out a little bit of shade to Disney Plus because Amazon Prime
it's a lot easier.
Never had an issue. Every week, I would turn that watch party thing on like 2 hours before the show, and the link would sit there, and I would invite people to it, and it would work every single time with no issue. This one, like, if it's like 10 minutes early, that thing dies, and like we have to do it over and over again. And then sometimes people are like, "You don't have access to this content in your region."
Yeah.
Anyway.
Which is silly because that mouse is everywhere. All right.
Speaking of the mouse being everywhere, we can't show any of the audio or video on our stream. So I have this little handy dandy timer over here. I'll press play at the same time on that I do on the show so you guys can follow along. Or, just hang out and listen to us spout nonsense about the show and probably go off on tangents.
Yes.
Probably about the Wheel of Time.
Do you do any pausing and talking, or is it just straight through?
Nope. Straight through.
Just straight through, yeah. Just let it play,
through,
and we'll go off. Like, so, sometimes we'll stay on a little while afterwards and talk about stuff, but it's usually just watch the show and talk about what's going on.
Yep.
As we watch. What? Sorry, my cat came in and was like, meow. And I was not expecting her to be here. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna get ready to press play, so you guys can get ready to press play with me. Let me get it next to each other, the play buttons. Yay! All right, we are not gonna skip the recap, so make sure to watch the recap. And here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And then we found out last week, I don't know if you know that the male Twi'lek that was just on camera right there is actually Arendir from the new Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power show, the elf.
Yes, the hot elf.
Hot
elf, Seth.
Okay.
And I would have never known.
Yeah.
I mean,
the baby.
There's no way to know that the hot elf is also the dangerous killer. No way.
I mean, shouldn't it be both though? Like, the hot elf should be a dangerous killer.
I'm glad, Crystal, because
they're going to happen.
Yeah,
they're going to happen,
especially when I'm involved.
Mm-hmm. We do an episode every once in a while called the Tangents episode. Like it's something we try and corral because it happens so often.
There's a really good con where like it's mostly like a writers convention, but like it's not just closed, like only writers can go. And their content is just fantastic. Like their panels are great. I think it's 4th Street Fantasy or something like that. Something Street Fantasy, I think it's called. And basically what happens is if they start getting too far off topic on a panel, the moderator will go, "That's a panel for another time." And then they'll take that whatever they said that to and write it down. And then at the end of the weekend, they take that list of things, they have a vote, and then they have an impromptu panel on one of those topics or a few of those topics. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Nice.
And then they'll just grab random people to talk on it.
Quick question. Why do stormtroopers wear armor? It doesn't seem to stop fire, blasters, swords, teeth, anything.
It's the same reason military wears uniform. You want everybody to look the same.
Yeah, you don't want any individuals, and then you want
they were literal clones in the beginning. So
feel like part of the team, I guess. Oh, something else I realized that I forgot to mention last week is that Carl Weathers directed last week's episode.
Did he?
Yeah. Well, in season 3 of Mandalorian, he directed last week's episode.
Oh, okay.
But I think he directs an episode or 2 in season 2 as well, and amazing, like absolutely amazing. Like who knew that he could be an amazing director on top of like.
I would think though, after you've been in so many things, you've got to kind of develop an eye, even if you can't direct anybody else. Like it seems like you should know what works best for you. Look at that baby.
The baby was sleeping, and that was very cute.
Yes, I adore him so much. It's ridiculous. Like I'm glad he doesn't exist in real life because I would have kidnapped him. Like Mando would be after me.
Oh man, Katie Sackhoff was doing an interview that I saw like a clip on TikTok, where she was like in between scenes that they were filming for season 3. She was just like having like a pretend conversation with the baby because she was just like, what else am I going to do? I'm sitting there. And I didn't realize that all of the puppeteers were still like paying attention and listening to me. And then all of a sudden he started responding. Like I said something about him, could he be scary? And he made this, he turned into like a gremlin that I fed after midnight is what she said. Like he got all scary.
Do you know in E.T., Steven
Spielberg... Oh, sorry, real quick.
Oh.
Arosa, Carl Weathers is, oh shit, what's his character's name in the show? He's his like underworld contact that he's been getting the bounties from. He played Apollo Creed in Rocky, and he was opposite Arnold Schwarzenegger in the first Predator movie.
Yes, yeah.
They had the scene where they grabbed each other's arms.
In E.T., Drew Barrymore thought E.T. was real, so Steven Spielberg made sure there was always somebody manning him, so when she went up to talk to him, he would react to her.
That's
because she was what 4 or 5 at the time. Yeah,
she was definitely not 5. She might have been 4.
See, this is why I depend on Nomengard, man.
Yeah,
Grief Karga, yes.
All right, so they've got this belt between them. It's all like it's electricity. I'm trying to figure out why they can basically treat it like a stretchy rope, right?
Yeah, it's weird.
Right. But I guess they can't run away.
Technology.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The rules on it aren't exactly clear to me. Are they like?
And they're touching it.
They're touching it, so it's like not hot plasma or anything like that. But at the same time, like you can pull her in, but also throw her away.
It also makes lightsaber sounds, apparently.
Right.
Like, so just grab it and wrap it around his neck.
Something else that I found interesting. My wife is watching Clone Wars all the way through for the first time. The cartoon, the TV show, and they talk about Zabrak, which is what that guy that she was just fighting was like they're a mysterious alien race. Like they were like, oh, he's the same. They were talking about there's another Sith that's a Zabrak in the Clone Wars TV show. His name is the worst name ever. His name is Savage Opress, like Savage Opress. And he's Obi-Wan describes him as the same creature that Darth Maul was. And I'm like, he's a Zabrak. Like, why don't you just say
Zabrak? Well,
because they're mysterious devils and nobody knows what they are. Yeah.
Oh, that's bad. Althor's taint. Well, you can catch it on the replay. Watch the replay.
Mm-hmm.
Please watch it. No.
So I was thinking, what that leash reminds me of is, have you read Sanderson's Starlight series?
Yeah. Oh,
the Light Lance is basically what that is. Yeah, it's almost identical.
Yeah, I love. I haven't read the newest book that came out, but I really enjoyed the what's the main character's name? It'll pop up in my head in a minute, or Norman Garden will say it.
Yeah.
I like the way he wrote her. She's fun to read, and the setting is pretty cool. And I like that it's not. Honestly, I kind of like that it's something that you could read that he wrote that isn't part of the Cosmere.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, like it's not.
She's got a little bit of lift in her if you like lift, but not like that quite that silly.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
And every book is quite a bit different. I wouldn't say any of the 3 books are. It's not like he writes 3 books that are the same and have the same beats in them. He writes 3 very different books in that series.
Yeah. I mean, like, fucking Gina Carano, like, she unmasked herself as being a shitty person, but it would have been nice if. Yes, Tress. Yes. But whatever, shit happens. I like there's a woman that everyone is like comparing her to in season 3. Because like they're both kind of jacked, and she seems to be playing. She's going to be playing a larger role in the season 3. This new woman, and she's pretty awesome. I like her a lot.
Yeah, it's not that hard to take somebody who maybe in an alternate world they would have used this actor, but it's like no, we can just replace her. It's not that hard. Yeah. To have someone who's similar in the same beats, which
and people,
in a lot of ways is scary because that's what a lot of modern society feels like. Is like, oh, you're fine. We'll just replace you with someone who's similar with your skills. We don't need you. But at the same time,
well, they didn't keep her as the same character.
That's the same character.
Totally.
Which
that makes a little.
That's the same vibe, basically.
It's the same vibe because they're both jacked.
But it's like, stop being shitty people, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so here's the thing: you don't even have to do that. Just keep it to yourself. Like everybody doesn't have to know everything that runs through your head. Exactly. I mean, now, granted, I do share a lot of what runs through my head, but y'all should hear the stuff I don't.
Trust me, there are filters in place. You'd be shocked. Yes. But there are filters in place.
I'm terrible. I'm a terrible liar, so like I just.
Well, so that's the thing. I'm not going to be keeping stories straight.
No,
no. I just tell the truth.
But I can tell you that you're not my favorite in a nice way. I don't have to be super mean about it.
Right.
Basically, I don't hang out with you. I don't mess with you. Like at work, there's some people who's like, some people, Ebony's really friendly, and some people are like, really? She must not like you. She's not just messaging you via Teams on the side about funny stuff or sending you pictures of Avi. She probably doesn't like you.
I was just staring at Keel. I think it's like K-I. Like I saw his name pop up here. It's weird. It's like Kiil. Nick Nolte's character, the Ugnaught. This Ugnaught, not gonna lie, kind of looks better than Nick Nolte.
I love that droid.
IG 80 something. Taika Waititi.
Yes.
He sort of laid off the "I have spoken" thing towards the end of the season, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like I feel like when we first met him, it was like every other sentence.
Well, he had to establish it that was his thing, right?
Okay.
Right, like you gotta. He's had to say it a lot, so now we all know that's
his thing. That's his thing. Okay.
Yeah. So then he doesn't have to say it as much.
And this is where he kind of reveals that he used to work for the Empire too. Because when I was watching this earlier today, I caught that, and I had forgotten about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he said in the first episode that he was working for the Empire as like he was conscripted, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like working for them. It was like slavery, essentially.
Yeah. Well, he just said not too long ago that now he serves no one but himself.
Right. And I think it took him like 3 human lifetimes, he said, to work it all off.
Yeah, it did take him a long time.
Yeah.
That was...
He's teaching him how to walk. It's interesting. Like it's almost like he's raising a child with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way to make us care about this droid again, like this quickly.
Who was just a dick when we first met him.
Well, so here's the thing about droids, but they're programmed, right?
Right.
So was it him or the programmer?
They're sentient, the droids. That's the thing.
Okay, that's true.
They talk about the deserts like they're traveling oceans a lot in this, which is interesting.
I feel like there's a lot of problems around the droids in terms of like rights and sentience and the fact that a child can build them in the middle of the desert.
Right.
And, like and then the way they're treated by the society of just like servants who have no very rights in and of themselves. And it's like,
yeah, it is.
And then the fact that like most droids, I assume, wake up sentient. So why is this one having to like? Is it rebuilding its brain function basically?
Yeah, is he programming it, or did he like?
He said he had to teach it everything. So is this essentially how you program a droid? Like, do they, even though they wake up sentient, at what level do they wake up once they've been built?
Which I kind of like. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I like that it's not super hard sci-fi. Which is why I like Star Wars so much, because I'm not usually a big sci-fi fan, which is funny because we just talked about Brandon Sanderson's Starlight or Starflight and stuff. But
I would argue that Star Wars is fantasy from start to finish, just because it happens on spaceships.
And it's got robots in it, and that's why people go with sci-fi.
Yeah, but it's got wizards with laser swords.
Yeah.
Like
space magic.
Yeah, it's space magic. The technology is magic.
It's definitely both. Like I would say, but it's more fantasy. Nomi Garden Flotsam is it's stuff from like wreckage usually. So
it's the debris left over, and it can just be from tides and stuff like that. It's usually what floats up on a coast.
Yeah, we used to.
I learned the word from Dragonlance. Actually, there's a town called Flotsam that they visit, and I had to look up the name of what it meant, and it means trash that washes up on shore.
See, now he just said droids aren't good or bad. They're neutral reflections of those who
work on
them, that build them.
There's actually the eels that are Ursula's eels in The Little Mermaid are Flotsam and Jetsam. Yeah.
Yep.
And they basically mean the same thing. Like Flotsam and Jetsam are Lord of the Rings have Flotsam and Jetsam too. I didn't know that. But I know Ursula's eels are Flotsam and Jetsam. But also I worked on boats for like 15 years, and we used to have to recover basically Flotsam and Jetsam from the bays and stuff around Long Island, which was actually a lot of fun. I have fun stories about that.
Speaking of Ursula and The Little Mermaid, I am disappointed that Prince Eric is not as cute as the cartoon version or as Cooper, Tom.
That's okay. I can see that.
Because I'm like, if you're gonna do it, I need y'all to get the cutest one you can find.
It's true. What? Who's playing?
I don't even know. I was very excited.
The baby can use the dark side. Yes, I mean, she's an amazing singer as well. the baby can use the dark side.
Anybody can use the dark side. He's protecting his daddy. He didn't know what was happening.
That was that was interesting. That was really an interesting little piece of.
Yes.
I mean, if you can move things with the light side, you can like move both sides of their throat closer together.
But I will say, is that dark side yet? Because I'm sure in his mind, he was protecting his daddy, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, like it's such soft science, it's such a soft magic system.
Yes,
of course,
yes.
that it's
and the whole only Sith speak in absolutes,
which is
an absolute.
Yeah, which in and of itself is an absolute.
Yeah.
But I will say, every once in a while, if Avi thinks somebody is gonna hurt, is on my bad side, she's like, "Let me talk to him." So she goes dark side real quick.
The Flotsam and Jetsam was the name of the chapter after the Battle of Isengard. Oh, okay. I thought you meant that there were characters named that.
But yeah, it is a little terrifying to have this like ability to just kill you randomly in the hands of what is essentially a baby who will not grow up for many for your lifetime, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm only 4 years younger than Grogu.
But infinitely cuter.
I no. Have you seen Grogu? I will say I am cute, but I'm not. It's a different kind of cute. If you're looking at me, you're seeing something different. You're looking at Grogu.
That's fair.
It's two different kinds of cutes.
The interesting thing, the only other of his race that we've seen in movies or stuff like that is Yoda. I mean, I know that's not true. There's another.
There's a female Yoda.
Yeah. Her name
Yada?
Me. Yada.
Yeah, I think it's Yada. See, I know random Star Wars stuff for no reason.
But Yoda also used Force lightning right after Dooku hits him with it in Clone Wars, actually. So I think it might just be because they're so strong in the Force. They're,
Well, I think it seems like the real test. Yaddle, that's what it is. Thank you, Noman.
That didn't sound exactly right, but
yeah. But the real test would be knowing you can use the dark side and not using it, as opposed to not being able to use it at all. Like if you can't use it at all, you're not making a choice, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You don't. It's not an option. You should be able to. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was gonna say I also really liked the idea of how Ahsoka isn't a Jedi, but she's not a Sith, and she kind of is balanced in between, and the idea of like the gray Jedi, and that the Jedi aren't exactly right either. So, like, I really would have liked if they played with that more in the new movies, and I'm really hoping in this Ahsoka show they do a bit more.
I mean, getting rid of the dichotomy that we've always lived with and doing something that maybe exists on a spectrum. I can't imagine why that would have any relevance to today's modern political world. I can't. A good writer could not take advantage of that. No.
Not at all.
Exactly. I mean, they're basically cops, and like.
Right.
Well, but they set themselves up, right? They gave them all these rules that were going to make them grumpy anyway. Because I'm sure you guys have seen the thing that floats around. It comes up on Facebook every once in a while, maybe on Twitter too, about how if they had just given Anakin younglings to care for, that he could have transferred that need to care for somebody. Because the whole thing was he tried so hard to not care, and then he started to care for Padme, and like he felt like that wasn't the Jedi way, right?
Yeah.
No attachments.
Or let the poor boy go on some dates. I don't understand why.
So here's the thing.
That was such a bad thing.
Jedi can have sex all they want. They're just not supposed to get married.
Yeah.
Nobody ever said they had to be celibate.
Yeah, how are you going to get more Jedi?
Right. I mean, we saw the problem with the Aes Sedai, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I guess I could see, hey, we don't want you to commit to one person. We want you sleeping around your whole extended life, right?
But if they had given Anakin some younglings to kind of care for,
right,
then he would have been able to, and he would have had somebody to care for him. It wouldn't have been so much on Padme, right? Like Padme was carrying a whole lot of emotional baggage for him.
Yeah, which is why I really liked the cartoon better. They did a better job at giving him more depth with why he went to the dark side. It wasn't just because he was afraid Padme was going to die. It was also
he lost his mom.
But it was also the whole Jedi are not peacekeepers. They're going around killing people. Like they're acting as a paramilitary force, and he didn't like that either. So like there was a whole little.
Sorry, I had to like Baby Yoda's little retreat. He saw danger, so his little thing closed up and he like ran away. Like, ooh!
Yeah,
I absolutely wish I had one of those. I mean, it wouldn't be for danger; it would be for annoying people. But
hey, just to take naps at work, I'm telling you, I'll close that sucker up.
I have been trying to convince these people at work to let me nap for 20 minutes after lunch. I will be such a better employee.
Give us pods, people. Like, not pod people, pods people.
Yeah, not pod people.
Thursday, we had half a chicken for lunch. I cannot eat half a chicken all by myself and then work.
Yeah, for real. Like, that's I need a nap just thinking about that.
Like a whole half a chicken. And I'm like, I can't.
Wait, roasted or fried?
Roasted. It was
okay. That's a little bit better.
Old Bay with mashed potatoes and asparagus.
It was Old Bay. Damn Marylanders, damn Old Bay.
That'll knock you out, though.
Right.
I'll tell you what, I've eaten that meal and then gone right to sleep.
And it was served at 11:30 in the morning, and you want me to work the rest of the day?
That's
because we're old. It's because we're old.
It's like, I need a 20-minute nap. I'm like, I'm not one of the football players. I'm not going to go run it off. I'm going to sit back down at my desk.
That hit me even when I was young. I was definitely a food sleeper. Thanksgiving, you stuff me full of mashed potatoes. You hit me with a rack, and I'll just, stay asleep the whole time.
Yes.
The idea of like, sorry, I'm going back to the show. The idea of like all the ex-Empire, kind of underworld that the Empire crumbling created is an interesting thing, and
just like Prohibition.
Yeah,
power vacuum.
Yeah. and the fact that the New Republic is so, I don't want to say weak, but not as solidified as you would think. There's a lot of interesting stories that they could tell in this universe with that type of dichotomy, and I'm interested to see what they do. Whoa, I forgot about that.
Bats. Speaking of
dragon bats. See, this is basically evolution, right? This is the whole thing that they're fighting these like dragon bat things that just need to come down, swoop them down, get them out of nothing. That's actually, I think, why the movie was on my head is because of this scene. Because I was like, man, it's basically like this exact scene in a mall with David Duchovny and his shotgun.
But I love Fox Mulder because his mom named him Fox. Like, she knew. She just knew she was going to have an attractive son. I'm going to call you Fox.
Yeah. David Duchovny, why don't you love me? I mean, that's a throwback if you remember that one. I feel bad for the poor horse animal beasts.
Yes, yeah.
By the way, I have to compare this to the Rockin', right? You've got Torum with those animal beasts. You've got, Rockin'. Yeah, Grolm. Yeah. Sorry, that's what I said. Grolm. Yeah. Grolm and Rockin', basically, in this scene. Yeah.
They kind of do look like Grolm, though. Like, they're gray.
That's what I'm saying. Those gray toad creatures. If they had 3 eyes, it'd be spot on.
Yeah. The whatchamacall, it looks like that they're going to play with the story of the, what happened in the Empire's power vacuum in the new Ahsoka show, which is interesting.
That'd be cool. Yeah, this problem with you creating a really cool universe is you can never tell all the stories, and you'll never be satisfied because there's always more stories you can tell in a sort of semi-complete, rounded universe.
Right.
I like that though because then it leaves it open for this type of discussion too. That's the same thing with Wheel of Time.
Yes. I am glad that we did. I mean, I know a lot of people wanted it to be wrapped up in a bow at the end, but Robert Jordan was very clear. It's like these are living people. Like
there's no ending.
There's no ending. They're just going to move on to the next thing. You just got to see this little portion of their lives. Now go do something else. They got stuff
he was pretty explicit about the no endings or beginnings to the Wheel of Time. Yeah, he said that a few times. Yeah.
A couple times. Maybe once or twice.
Yeah, but people still were very upset at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Here's something that
I was extremely satisfied.
Me too. Mm-hmm. Here's something that we've only ever seen in Star Wars video games, which is force healing.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was one of those things that always felt a bit lore-breaking to me, right?
I mean,
you know what I just thought of too? Now, like, obviously they probably did this on purpose. They showed him using a dark side power and a light side power in this episode. So maybe they are kind of saying he rides the line between the
true balance to the Force.
It would be great. I mean, the fact that in season 2, which again we are doing spoilers for season 2, he does kind of turn down being a Jedi.
Yes.
So
I don't blame him. Also, Thom, you have to remind me to tell you about my Anakin Skywalker Kanye West comparison.
Okay. I'm making a note.
They were both supposed to bring balance to something. Their mamas died, and look what happened.
I'm nodding to that. I can see that. Yeah.
Also, I had a lot of time on my hands at one point after Avi was born. So I stayed home with her for a while.
So what do you think, Seth, of Mando's cape? So like we talked about it last week. There's no way it could actually serve a purpose. That he pretty much just looks cool in a cape.
That's the purpose.
I mean, my theory that Beskar, like, it conducts heat pretty good. Like, it's cold. Like, you gotta keep warm a little bit. I think maybe just what we all have a cloak for, right? Warmth.
Says the man with a Gleeman cloak.
Well, I'm saying I will defend a cloak all day, every day. They are warm and comfy, and frankly, it's always nice to have a blanket on your back. You never know when you're going to need to go to sleep in the middle of nowhere, like on a couch in a living room, which I have never slept under.
I have a basket of blankets, guys. It's got like 6 blankets in it, and it is glorious. I have a blanket at work and slippers because I'm going to be comfortable.
Let me tell you, a cloak with a liner level and a bunch of other streamers on top of it is like 4 layers of blanket, and it feels amazing. It's like laying under a weighted blanket.
After Hurricane Sandy, when we were in New York, it snowed and it was cold because it was October. And Aaron and I were walking around in our cosplay cloaks because they were warm. In our house, obviously.
Yeah. Is Grogu smaller than your cat, Noman Garden? Actually, you know what? He might be smaller than my cat, too, because my cat, Dipper, should be on a diet. She's like 20 pounds. She's probably up to 22 pounds at this point.
That's a big cat.
Large cat.
She is big, and she's got a really tiny face, and it's just odd. She's very pretty, though. She's a beautiful cat.
My 2 male cats are definitely bigger than him. They're definitely even bigger than the doll that's over here. But my female cat is much smaller than Grogu. She's like tiny, but she's dense, which is weird. She's heavier than my other cat, which is like probably 4 inches longer than her.
I mean, I've got a niece like that. She is solid. Like when you pick her up, she is, and she's a vegetarian. I'm like, what vegetables is she eating? Like, what
are you made out of, child? Cauliflower?
Is it all potatoes? Are you just eating potatoes?
Oh, so am I remember correctly that one of the Grogus is a decoy or something? That he has a decoy? Okay, I might be wrong about this, but I thought the scene at the end, the Grogu looked fake.
You mean like canonically wise, like they have a I don't remember that.
Okay, because I didn't watch the episode after this one, and I'm having trouble remembering it since the last time I watched it.
Oh, man. I remember when this episode came out, one of these stormtroopers is like the most hated person on the internet for like a month.
Yes.
Oh, the chain code. We just watched the episode where they introduced the chain codes for when the Empire took over.
What is a chain code?
It's basically your social security number or whatever, but it's also the only way that you get money.
It's where we're moving to, Seth. It's
where
society's moving towards.
Totally.
It's
we
also
already have a
your
credit
name,
score.
too.
It's basically
but it's as if your credit score was your name. That's why they call people by number, like L7521.
So I don't need y'all in my business like that.
Shit, if it was my credit score when I was in my 20s, it'd be like L fucking
just L,
490.
It's just letters. I have no numbers in it. It's just a letter.
D-. That's all we're talking about.
20s are so hard. They really need to teach you how to manage money before they turn you loose on the world.
Like my wife and I, when we were dating, it was like, oh, I'm out of money this week. Can you buy food?
No, I will say
I just lived in squalor. So like I lived cheaply, but like I was never out of money, but I lived in ways that no human should ever actually live in a city. When I was in Philadelphia, I lived in a house that should have been condemned. We were. Yeah,
it looked like the houses on this planet.
Basically. And then we decided to do renovation to it, so I tore down a bunch of the walls, and then we kind of got stuck because we didn't have money to actually buy any of this stuff. So it was
just
bad.
open concept. Just open concept.
Oh, yeah, totally. All the way through, 100%, except for the stairs up to the second floor. And then the ceiling collapsed on me.
Oh, God.
And so the drywall, my entire clothes got covered in drywall dust, and I didn't have a washing machine to wash them with or a car to get them to the laundromat. So
Sounds like fun.
Oh yeah, 20s. Don't miss them.
So in my 20s, I had 2 children. So Brian and I had our hustle on. At one point, we had 5 jobs between the 2 of us and 1 car, and the car got stolen. And I called my mother in tears. I was ready to hang it up. I was like, I cannot be an adult, and they should not have let me have a baby. But it all worked out now. We're good. So,
Made it through.
But I am like this. That struggle was a struggle.
I was whatchamacall, a fun fact about the stormtroopers in this scene is the Seth, not Seth. You're on my mind now, Seth. Jon Favreau. They had a tough time getting stormtrooper armor that was dirty and messed up looking because most of the film armor is pristine and clean looking. So they actually enlisted a lot of the 501st people that have different types of armor or different there was one of the guys
of armor, yeah.
Yeah. One guy is actually, his armor is usually a zombie stormtrooper, but he used a different helmet and stuff so that it didn't look like that. But
I agree.
Noman Garden.
Absolutely.
Werner Herzog is amazing.
I stopped listening to you guys because he was talking, right? That was pretty much Werner Herzog was giving his voice, and that's just the voice of death in nature documentaries everywhere.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
There's a guy on one of the College Humor shows, game show things that they do that can do a impression of him really well. That's right, they can't shoot. Well, there's more. Deal with it. Shock trooper.
We're fine. We're main characters in the TV show. You'll be fine.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. There he is.
And I'm sure you guys have seen, there's the underground movement for him to be Magneto when they redo X-Men.
Ooh, I like that.
Have you guys not heard that? Yeah.
No.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Magneto in this scene, in that armor a little bit.
Yeah.
All he needs is the helmet, and it to be red.
Yep.
And
but
purple.
there's kind of an underground call for it.
He would look good in red and purple. Not gonna lie.
Well, so I stay on. There's a Black Nerd Facebook group. Anybody can join it, but that's where they were talking about it. How they want him to be Magneto.
I'm behind this 100%.
I feel like he's got the right level of terrifying visage that you basically have a scene like this, and then he walks out and goes, and everybody goes,
right.
flying. Yeah, I'd love that.
He's got that confidence, like you would believe it, like you wouldn't doubt it.
He's got gravitas is the best word that I could think of. He doesn't have to say or do anything. He could just stand there on a scene.
Well, it's in Breaking Bad, spoilers, when he got blown up and he steps out into the hallway, and for that minute, you only see the healthy half of his face, and you go, he's just badass enough to survive that explosion. You have that minute of belief that maybe, just maybe, he survived. And it takes an extremely badass actor to pull that beat off before he falls over dead.
Yeah. Noman Garden, Giancarlo.
Yes, Noman Garden. Giancarlo as Magneto. There's rumblings of it on the
even him in his fast food uniform in Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, terrifying.
He was terrifying.
That is the only expression she makes, by the way.
I know
that the screwing your lips up to the side and going, I'm concerned. So I don't remember it being that blatant the first time I watched it, but going through again, I was just like, damn, make it a different expression sometime.
Well, the first time you watched it, you were just trying to take it all in. You didn't really have time to analyze anything.
Also, my boy has I don't even know.
Do these ships usually do that?
No, the TIE fighters usually don't do that, which is...
I didn't think so. He's got a custom TIE fighter. He got his ride pip.
I mean, he's a
I do like
grand
the reuse
moff,
of the speeders. Like the reuse of the speeders.
Yeah, they are. We had a discussion about that last week. They are close to the same speeders as the speeders from Return of the Jedi, but they are slightly dissimilar.
Yeah, Noman Garden and Thom almost went at each other.
Yeah,
spouting facts and pictures.
It's true. Their handlebars are a little different, and the way the front end is mounted to the body is a little different. But they did reuse a lot of the same parts.
But
so
look,
alternate reason.
Okay.
Yeah, alternate reason why Mandalorian has a cape is it makes him the opposite here. It's like it gives them as the two caped, Avengers, the superheroes, and the evil villains of the scene.
They're the hero units.
Exactly.
Queel. Oh my god, he's so good. So good.
Well, and did you talk about the fact that he's wearing basically Darth Vader's outfit without the helmet?
Yep, pretty much. I mean, we haven't. I mean, this is the first time we're seeing him, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be, which is an incredible way to go about it, and to be like, let's just give him what basically Darth Vader was wearing. Like, it makes him extremely badass, and he doesn't need the threatening helmet because his face is threatening enough.
Yes.
He's also one of the only other Grand Moffs we ever see other than Tarkin. Oh, so sad. I mean, I really liked his character, and I'm sad that we're not going to see him.
He has spoken.
For the last time. It would have been great to have, like, Mando have his own little crew,
Right.
And they do a little bit of that, I think, with some of the reoccurring characters who fix his ship and stuff like that. But, like, at the same time...
they're interchangeable. Like, he has a different crew every time, and the art is so good. Noman Garden, you're right, though, about Magneto's origin story. I don't know how they would do that.
A funny bit, actually. Deborah Cho, who directed this episode, also directed a bunch of Better Call Saul. So that's
there you go.
Breaking Bad, yeah. But and she's a great director and writer. She writes a bit too, I think.
I was missing a bit of Mando's more larger ship. His new ship is much tinier. It's more of a motorcycle, and it definitely references a motorcycle where he's on the motorcycle and the Baby Yoda's in the side carriage, the sidecar. And like, I kind of miss the like more RV style ship that he's in that you get to like explore a little bit, and he's got the playing cards of bad guys that you get to flip through and the carbonite.
It always reminded me of like the old school poster. Things that were at like music stores.
Yes, Sam Goody.
Yes. I still 100% attest to the fact that the actual only reason they changed his ship was so that people stopped asking him to have like a crew for the Mandalorian, because now literally no one else can fit on the ship.
Right.
I was going to just say that it aligns more with what he's doing now, right? Because is he really bounty hunting anymore?
Yeah, it's true.
No, it's been a while.
It's him and the kid now.
Yeah,
him and the kid.
Yeah, I guess like what is he? Yeah, I mean it's weird. Like he's just like his whole like how does he make money though? Like that was the whole thing in this first season.
He's following the main quest line, right? And every once in a while he has to do a side quest. I mean, that's the one thing that really struck me about this show is how much of a video game the Mandalorian is playing. He's given fetch quests to get gold. Okay, he built up early game. He got enough gold. He doesn't have to worry about that anymore. Now it's more like, and then he had to find the better armor. And now he's on a quest to regain his armor because we're getting into more of the metaphysical. Like, I cannot.
Magic sword.
Right. You cannot watch this show and not believe that it's been heavily influenced by video games.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Same way I look at Stormlight Archive and I go, okay, so Final Fantasy is basically being rewritten. Like, you need an excuse for the big sword. So you came up with Spren and Shard Blades, and there's just the same thing going on where he's like, I want to copy this thing, but do it my own way.
And the Sprens are basically, you have little like spirit beings that live inside of your weapons that give them elemental abilities. Oh, I've never seen that in a Final Fantasy game before.
No, never before. Right? Yeah.
I want you guys to know I have watched Brian play so many Final Fantasy games because I am a good spouse. I will just sit and watch him play games that aren't scary and let him explain them to me, even though it goes in one ear and out the other.
Erin does not like to watch video games. She's not a video game watcher, though either am I, so that's fair.
Yeah.
I am a video game watcher. I had college roommates and friends that I've lived with that I'll sit on the couch and watch someone else play video games for hours. Whereas I am not much of a video game player.
Yeah, no, I can't do it from that perspective. Like it makes me I get motion sickness. Like if it's not Mario, like the first person view, I can't. Yeah, I can't do that. But I can watch other people do it. But like I can't orient myself to do it.
I was actually thinking about streaming some gaming coming up here soon because the new Star Wars game is coming out, and I kind of want to
Do it.
Yeah.
want to do that. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Anyway, we are going to get ready to wrap up here, but we're gonna do next week or no, it's Monday. This week, either Wednesday or Thursday, I think we're gonna have a new poll go up for what should we watch next. So be on the lookout for Dragon Mount on Instagram, and I think they're still going to post it on Twitter and all that, Facebook. We are going to be listing the new shows that we're going to watch, and
the new ones that we're thinking about watching. You guys get to choose. Yeah,
we want you guys to pick because we want you to be interested. Like we narrowed it down to a bunch of shows that we'll watch, and then we let you guys pick so that
Yeah.
Are you going to give us the list now so I can influence you guys? Or,
yeah, sure. So we're thinking of Last of Us, and that's 100% only on there because I want more Pedro Pascal and I want to see his face.
Yeah.
The Witcher season 1.
Okay.
Carnival Row season 1.
Okay.
And oh shit, what was this?
Was it WandaVision? Did we put WandaVision on there or no?
No, I did not put WandaVision on there because I'm bad and I forgot that I said we would do that.
Stop it.
And maybe we will, but because I don't remember the fourth one now. I have it written down right here. Sandman. Oh no, his Dark Materials. Sandman ended up being like 12 episodes, and I was like, that's a little too long.
Yeah, that is a lot. And how long are the episodes?
Yeah, I was
that's
like an hour.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And then I was thinking of I like The Magicians a lot, and that would be a fun one because it's like but that's 14 episodes, so it's like
I'd put my money down on his Dark Materials. I find that series to be fascinating, and the fact that they're actually finally doing a good version of it rather than a Hollywood version of it, I really like. I've finally, I hadn't watched it, and I finally sat down and started his Dark Materials, and I was like, oh, this is the show I've been wanting since I read the books. I hope they keep it going. I'm kind of ashamed that I haven't started earlier and I haven't finished it yet, but time to consume content is a precious thing these days.
It is.
And there's so much content out there, not just from the professionals, but also from my friends like Dragon Mount and other real-time
it's a good problem to have, but it's still a problem.
It is a problem. It is a problem. And I even listen to everything I can on 2X, and it's still, I don't have enough time.
Yeah. I started doing that too I'm re-listening to Wheel of Time again because I also do the Tuesday show with Way of the Leaf where I'm in my felt form, and I couldn't just listen to it like 2 chapters a week. So now I've gone through the whole Lord of Chaos. I'm into Crown of Swords, and I'm halfway through that now. So I'm just like listening to the whole thing. But I started doing it on 2x speed too, and it's like I'm able to follow along because I've read it so many times. But I might need to actually read a Memory of Light because I've only read it.
That's the problem most of us have is Memory of Light. We have not read as often as Eye of the World because there was a lot of time to get into Memory of Light where we would reread.
Well, and that's what I was saying. One of the things I did with the podcast is I started rereading every book after the book we're in, and that helps me both because we're spoilers, so I get to find clues, but also then it helps me catch up with all the times I read the first books and not the last books. Now I'm reading the last books and not the first books, so I'm trying to even out my experience a little bit with them. But I don't have the time or the desire to read it like a middle schooler once did.
Yeah, I mean,
your brain's a little more squishy now.
Yeah, and we complain about being middle schoolers, but we could really read.
Oh, damn, I could read.
I could for hours on end because I didn't have anything else to do.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The fact that I had nothing, I could sit and read do my homework.
I would lose days. There would be times where I'd be like
whole weekends. I would read because I wasn't at dance competitions, so it was.
Yeah, my parents always wondered, why are you so tired in the mornings? Well, because I was up till 2 a.m. reading. Yeah.
And at my house, as long as you were quiet and out of the way, nobody really bothered you.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just sit and read. They didn't ask me to do chore, nothing. Just she's good. She's over there being good. She's not causing trouble. It was great.
No, my sister was distracting them with all the trouble she was causing, so I got to read all I wanted. Yep.
I had a cousin like that.
Yep.
So I cannot do audiobooks, Arosa, because I'll still stop whatever it is I'm doing. Like I'll focus in on it, so that I'm still not getting anything done. So, because like Brian will listen to audiobooks while he's driving or working out, and I don't work out. But even then, like I can't do it like while I'm cleaning because the house won't get clean because I'll get caught up in the story or I'll start ignoring it because I'm focusing on what I'm doing. I've tried to do it and I cannot. And plus, I like the feel of holding the book, right? Like sitting and holding the book. It's very hard. I did. Who's the wizard? I can't think of his name now. He's got the series, the hat. His middle name is Harry.
Oh, Dresden. Harry Dresden.
Yes. So
he actually doesn't have the hat. Only on the cover art, but yeah.
Only on the cover art. Okay.
Which is a great ongoing joke, I think, between the cover artist and the actual writer. Yeah.
And butcher, yeah.
But like I did listen to that on audiobook. My bathroom never finished. I couldn't finish painting the bathroom because I would sit down and like on the side of the tub and I was just listening. So
oh man, I just realized I've been reading Wheel of Time for almost 20 years. No, actually, for like 21, 22 years. Wow.
Yeah, that's a little longer than me because I started reading it the year Roman was born, and Roman will be 22 this year.
It's actually longer than that because I started reading in 90, so it's like...
Oh, yeah, it's way longer than that because Roman was born in 2001, and he'll be 22 this year.
That's true, yeah. No, it was like 98, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to go with 27 years since I started reading The Wheel of Time. 96, right? If I'm doing the math right.
Which is with Gnomen Garden, too. Yeah, I think I started in 98.
Yeah,
it would have been 98 because I was, because I was in high school. Okay, yeah, so it would have been 98.
I'm a youngin' when it comes to the Wheel of Time. I didn't start till this millennium, so.
I just realized that now, and I was like, wow.
Sometimes some of the content creators out there, they're like, oh yeah, I read it for the first time when I heard about the TV show, and now I'm curating content, and I'm just like...
I'm so old.
Wow, so okay, yeah. That's you experienced Wheel of Time in a very different way than I did, for sure.
Yeah,
because they don't have to wait.
They don't have to wait.
I at least did get to have I had to wait for a good number of books. But that whole not having to wait, like
and not experiencing the speculation between books. Like there's theories that I feel like only exist because we had to wait between books, right? They would never come up because in the next book you get the answer.
Right.
I mean, Who Killed Asmodean was like that they had bumper stickers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and like they don't have it's not instant gratification.
This is the only slog I will say even exists for the Wheel of Time is having to wait in between these two seasons of the show.
It's killing me. It really is killing me.
At least we get to fill it with hanging out with awesome people like this.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yes. But speaking of hanging out with
and for me,
people,
it's just like I fill it with rereading the Wheel of Time. That's really that's how I'm so addicted to that book series. It's ridiculous.
It's so good, and that's how my wife and I, when we went on our first date, she was like, because we had both independently had read the Wheel of Time before we met, and we were talking about like our experience with it, and she was describing it as how she used to get the books in between classes at college, like drug deals, like her friend would meet her in between class and hand the books off, and then they would run to class. And
I'd always give them the Eye of the World for free, just to get them in.
I will absolutely buy anybody a copy of the Eye of the World.
Totally.
I buy them whenever I see them at thrift stores and stuff, so that I can give them to people.
Yeah, I will Amazon Prime you an Eye of the World and I'm in Barnes and Noble. Just if you even act like you're interested.
One of us. But she said that, like, she asked her friend, what do I read next? And he was like, you just start over.
Yeah.
You do it again. Yeah, I've been really happy my girlfriend started reading it for me. And I was like, all you have to do is you have to read Eye of the World. That's the rule to date me. I'm sorry. Like, it's just, it really, if you want to know anything about me, you're going to have to at least understand who the characters are. And so she's on actually book 5 now. She's not, it's not every day, but she does really enjoy them, and we get to listen to them together on road trips, and so I love
awesome.
experiencing them again for the first time through her.
That is my favorite thing, is to have a first time reader and just listen to them put things together and go, "You're smarter than I was."
Yep.
But
I do spoil the hell out of her, though. I mean, I do a podcast called WoTSpoilers, which she hears, and I listen to later books, and there's not really that many hidden secrets, but she's still, Wheel of Time is complicated enough that she doesn't remember the stuff by the time she gets to it. It doesn't mean anything.
Half of us didn't remember all the stuff that was foreshadowed in Eye of the World that didn't come until who knows when. Go ahead, Thom.
I was just gonna say, similar to the show, like we know what's gonna happen, but a lot of the fun part is the journey there to how it happens.
Journey before destination, to quote Sanderson.
Seth, has she assigned one of the Ta'veren 3 to you, like as your personality, who you're the most?
I'm definitely on the parent side of things.
Really?
Yeah, I mean with the beard and the making of stuff and I'm definitely not a gambler or a trickster or any of that kind of stuff, and I guess I am the main character of my own life, but I don't think of hers. So
yeah, Brian is totally Matt, but he wants everybody to think he's more of a Rand. Like he presents as a Rand, but he's actually a Matt, which makes sense.
Noman Garden, this makes me think of Orange is the New Black, when Crazy Eyes was passing around her fanfic of her space porn that she was writing. It was that was a really fun bit that they did in that show. And we'll just have to harangue him until he reads it, Crystal. Sorry.
Crystal, you have to be super duper obsessed. That is the reason my husband read The Eye of the World. He's like, you're talking to all these people about this. I should know what this is. And then it was his idea to name Avienda Avienda. Nice. I wanted to name her Berlin because we have an Asian, we have a Roman. And I was like, well, name her after a city. But I made a promise that he can name the next kid, and I kept my promise, and now I have a Maiden of the Spear in my house.
There you go. And she's more like a wise one almost than her.
It depends. It really depends on what day you get her. I told you she's a 46-year-old black woman that's fed up with everything.
That sounds like a wise woman to me.
Yeah. Sounds like a wise woman to me. You can't tell her what to do, and she's got a strong personality.
So strong. I am not worried about her going out into the world. Honestly, we could probably put her out right now and she'd make it. She'd be fine.
That's funny. All right.
Yeah. So I'm definitely dating in Elaine. There's no doubt about that.
Are you?
Yeah, definitely. She's likes being pretty, but she's very gregarious and happy to meet people, and makes everybody happy around her, and at the same time sort of is blondish and has a big personality, and she's just she's great.
I would say people peg Erin as an Elaine, but she's secretly just Lanfear. Everyone is like, oh, she's so nice, and I'm like,
hey, as long as she's not Semirog, that's the key, right? Unless you're into that kind of thing.
Because you're her safe space, Thom. That's what my mom keeps telling me. That's why Ivy acts this way at home, is because I'm her safe space. And I'm like, I didn't have a safe space at 11. I couldn't act.
That's true. But no, she until you play a board game with Erin with a traitor mechanic in it, then you'll find out how evil she can be, and secretly evil.
Erin and Brian should play board games together. I do not enjoy that process with my husband. I'm not a big fan of board games anyway, and then he wants the ones that last 3 or 4 hours. I'm like, I don't like you that much to be sitting here reading all these cards and all these rules.
I gotta play some games with him again at JordanCon. I'm gonna have time this year. I'm excited.
He won't be here.
Oh, right. Son of a bitch. I keep forgetting.
Yes, because Avi has a dance competition that weekend.
I remember.
So he won't be there. And Avi was supposed to come this year too, so she is a little grumpy about that. She wanted me to ask Jen to move JordanCon. And I was like, they signed a contract, baby. They can't.
They can't just move the whole convention.
Not for your dance.
No,
why not?
No, that really was.
I could see it.
And Erin, you are nice and trustworthy. I don't know what Tom's talking about either.
I didn't say she wasn't trustworthy. I just said she'll cut your throat if she thinks that she'll get something out of it. But
no, that just sounds like she is very knowledgeable and knows pragmatic? How to use her resources. Yes.
Is that what it is? Pragmatic? Yeah, that's. Nah, she's amazing. but it's just funny because like when we play board games, specifically board games, like where there's like a traitor mechanic or like, you can like kill other players to like win. I always go after her first, and everyone's like, oh, you're so mean. I'm like, I'm not mean. Look what happened. She won, and she ended up killing me, and it's because I know who my stiffest competition at the table is, and it's nine times out of 10, it's her.
That was like my mother growing up, because the first time I sat down with her and was like, hey, Mom, I learned this game called poker. Have you ever heard about it? And she was like, I don't know. I played like once, maybe. I go, you'll have to remind me of the rules.
Did your mama hustle you?
Like a champ. She kicked my ass up and down and down and up and lied about what she had in her hand, and I believed her because she's my mother and she wouldn't lie to me.
Oh, we lie all the time.
But it's poker. It's poker. You're allowed to lie. You know, like she. Oh man.
All the time, Seth. We say what we have to say to get the job done.
That was my grandma. My grandma was a hustler at poker, and she taught me how to play.
All right. Well, I think we have kind of
flapped our jaws. I was like, but it was perfect too, because I forgot to upload the image for next week's show, and I took the time when we were chatting to do that.
There you go.
Actually, whatchamacall, messed up the date on it, so I have to fix it before we go. But I really like the image that I threw into it, so I'm still going to post it. So next week we're going to have Nerdy Nightly. We might have one or I mean, obviously there's only two of them, but it might just be one of them. We'll find out next week. It'll be like a little surprise, but it's not March 20th. Obviously, that was last week's. It's going to be April 3rd. So
yes.
It'll be fixed before we do the thing, but I really enjoyed that image of Pedro. Because we haven't seen his face in like a couple weeks, and I got I want to see it. So anyway, yes, I will make sure it's PM. That was also my bad. The thing that keeps happening with it is if I leave it sitting, so what'll happen is I start like making the thing right after we end this, and then if I let it sit for too long, it resets the time. I don't know why it does that by itself, which I had an issue with that too, buying tickets to a Broadway show once. I let it sit on the purchase ticket screen too long, and it reset to that day. So like I bought the tickets, and then I was like, "Hey, Aaron, can you come home from work really fast? We have to go to the city. We have to catch the next train. It's in 20 minutes." Did
you make it?
Yeah, we did. We actually we walked into the theater as they were seating people. It was like perfect timing.
Perfect. Yeah.
It was wicked, actually.
Couldn't have played it better than that.
It was really good. Anyway, all right. I love all of you, and I will see you
Thank
next
you for
week.
having me.
Yes,
of
absolutely.
Course, Seth, what do you have going on?
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. What's your next thing? What should we look out for? Your next post is your next podcast, or
keep checking out WoTSpoilers, the podcast where we've written a song for the Wat Idol contest. So visuals are the big question. I might just have to do the scrolling text thing. I don't think I have time to put together a decent video, but I'll hopefully have something, unless they do an extension on the deadline, which they've done in the past. Anyone have the inside track on that?
I don't. I mean, like as of right now, I haven't heard that they're extending the deadline.
So, but we're excited for that. And then, just check out WoTSpoilers. It's
chapter 1 of Crossroads should be coming up.
Crossroads, and we've passed episode 450. Ooh. So we're well on our way to 500, and I'm excited to hit that milestone.
Oh, there you go. They must have recently did it. So
look at that! You got a little bit more time.
Oh, good, excellent.
You got like another week almost.
We got another week. Oh, well, let's talk about that then. We might have to do a little bit.
Someone asked me to do a little bit for their song that they're doing, like a tape a scene that I'll be doing. It's I'll be playing a warder in that.
Excellent. I mean, that's what you are in real life.
It's true. It's true. I am a brown warder. All right. I love all you guys. We will see you next week. Seth, thank you for coming to hang out with us.
It's great to see both of you again. It's always wonderful. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I love all you guys. We'll see you later.
All right. Bye, guys.
Peace.
Bye.